Hey, what's going on, guys? Frank here. Thanks for watching. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, please like this video, please share it. So I'd like to start this video by saying I'm not an electrician and I'm not a contractor. I like doing things myself and I like saving money, and that's what this video is all about. If you're interested in taking an old style light fixture and converting it into one of these Canless recessed lights, this video is for you. So please stay tuned and let's go ahead and check it out. Alright guys, so your old style light fixture is going to vary. It's not going to probably be the same thing I have here. It could be one of many different things. But in general, this is the same process that you're going to follow. So before I shut the power off, I'm going to just unscrew these thumb screws, and I'm going to pull off this glass cover. So before we get too far into this, we got the glass cover off, we got the bulbs out. We're just going to go ahead and verify that there's no power. So what I'm going to do is, I currently have one of these small power detectors, voltage detector. I'm just going to, you could do this with a multimeter too, but I'm just going to pull this in one of the bulb sockets. You can see we're red. It's beeping, so I know there's still power to it. So I'm going to go ahead over, I'm going to verify that we have the switch off and we have, more importantly, the breaker off to this circuit. So you guys can see, not getting any power anywhere. The other thing worth mentioning is if you wanted to, you could go to another circuit, use this same voltage detector, and you could verify that the voltage detector works. So do like the live dead live test where you check a live circuit, you come back, you check this, then you check a live circuit again to verify that we have no power here. I'm going in. So now we got the screws all loosened. We're going to go ahead and we're going to lower this down. You guys can see we have our hot side, our black wires, and we have our white wires. So what I'm going to do is, now that we know there's no power here, I'm going to go ahead and take this tape off and just go ahead and get it so we have one white wire and one black wire coming out of the ceiling. Okay, so now as you guys can see, we have a white wire and we have a black wire. There is a box up here that has a ground attached to it that comes off of this same wire. We're going to go ahead, we're going to take the ground off. So now we have our 3 wires ready to go for the new and improved light. Try and move those out of the way a little bit, and then we're going to work on getting this box out of here. There is it's kind of hard to see, but right here where the wire comes in, there's a clamp that actually holds the wire inside the box, keeps it from slipping. I'm going to go ahead and back that out. And then what we're going to do is we're going to look up inside the box. There's a couple crimps up in the box that we're going to have to drill out in order to pull the whole light fixture out. When I say fixture, I mean the whole box out of the ceiling. Again, there's different ways that this light is going to be mounted. This is just how my fixture is. What I want to do is drill out those 2 crimps so that I can just go right in and pull the whole box out. So in this situation here, it'd be good to wear safety glasses or whatever have you, so that stuff that comes down that you're drilling doesn't fall and get into your eyes. There's 1 down. And there's 2. And you guys can see, as a result, taking those 2 crimps out, we're able to just pull the box right out. Hey guys, so just so you know, this is a Canless Utilitech LED recessed lighting kit. I got this at Lowe's. I believe it was $45. around the time of this video, which is in March of 2023. It's a good light. I've never used these big 8-inch ones. I've installed a bunch of the 6-inch ones, and I think a couple of the 4-inch at different places in my house, and they all hold up really well. They say that they are rated for 50,000 hours of use, so you can get quite a bit out of them. And the nice thing about them is they're kind of modular in a sense. So there's a box that you hardwire into the circuit, and then there's a threaded port that you unplug the actual light canister from, and then you plug a new one in. So just say that 50,000 hours later, after I install this, it burns out. As long as something similar to this, if not this same product, is still available, I can buy one and then pop it out of the ceiling, which again is very easy because this is spring loaded. Disconnect it and then take the new one and plug it in, and you're good to go. So I definitely think that they're great to use. They are more cost effective too from an energy saving standpoint versus using a fluorescent bulb. So I definitely think that this is a great invention and new technology when it comes to lighting fixtures. It's definitely practical in a lot of ways. We got the old light fixture out. We took the box out. Now what we need to do is draw an 8-inch circle on the ceiling with a pencil, and then I need to use a drywall saw to cut the circle out so that we can go ahead and pop this guy right up into the ceiling. Okay, so it's worth mentioning too, you guys can kind of see the circle that I drew. It doesn't have to be a perfectly, circle, so to speak, with a nice rounded edge the whole way. I just got kind of a rough estimate in there. If anything, you want to be a little bit smaller, then you do bigger. You, in general, can always make the hole bigger, but you can't make it smaller. So cut away what you think is good as per the size light that you're going to be putting in. So for this light, it's 8.5 inches, something like that, a little bit bigger maybe. So I'm cutting an 8-inch circle so that there's a good bit of overlap in order for the springs to hold the light up into the ceiling against the drywall. What you want to do is just go through and slowly cut around it. You don't want to cut the wire that's up in the ceiling, so just go slow, cut a little bit at a time. And if you have a shop vac handy, see if somebody can hold a shop vac right next to where you're cutting with the drywall saw so that you don't get dust all over everything in your house. Like I was saying earlier, this whole light kit is set up into more or less 2 pieces. There's the light itself with a wire connected to it that plugs into the box that connects to the incoming power. Here's the box, it's aluminum, and what we're going to do now is we're just going to focus solely on the next step with this aluminum box. So we opened up our hole in the ceiling. We got it cut to roughly 8 inches, and what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to show you. I broke out one of these holes. There's a hole on each side. It's perforated so that you can stick a screwdriver in there, twist it, and break it. It comes out very easily. And then the wire that goes from the ceiling is going to come into this box right here, and then we're going to use these pushing connectors to match up our neutral, which is our white wire, our black, which is our hot wire, and this yellow and green wire, which is our ground. So we're going to clean up the ends, and we're going to plug them into those push-in connectors. And then we're going to tuck everything in to this box. And then we're going to close this aluminum box. Just like that. And there's 2 holes here on the box. And 2 little stainless steel, I believe, screws. 2 steel screws that come with it. That you can mount it to a joist or anywhere that you find appropriate depending on your situation. Here, I'm not going to really mount it anywhere. I'm just going to set it on the ceiling to the drywall next to where the light is. And there's enough length between both ends of this cord to where that works just fine. It all depends on your application, so it's nice that they give you those options. You don't always need them though. It's not a bad idea too to kind of dry fit your light and make sure that the hole will work. Because sometimes you'll notice on the back of these lights, sometimes the screws stick out a little bit that actually hold the light to the housing and everything. So you might get caught up somewhere and one of these springs won't be able to completely depress correctly. And you might have a ceiling light that kind of sits down like this. You might have to just open up the hole a little bit bigger so that you have space to fit this thing in there. But like I said earlier, that's okay because you can always make the hole bigger. Where you run into problems is when the hole's too big and then you can't make it smaller. So that being said, let's go ahead, dry fit this thing. I feel like it might be a little bit small, but we'll see what we can do. And then once we're good there, I'll go ahead and wire this box in. All right, so let's go ahead and do this dry fit. So like I said, I'm going to use the 2 clips and kind of go like here and here so that it has, we don't have any hindrance from this ceiling joist. So we'll see how this baby fits. Takes a little bit of maneuvering sometimes to get these in the way you want them. And don't panic. Okay, so I'm going to say that fits. For the most part, it's covering, yeah, it looks pretty good. It's up there pretty good. No problems there, so I'm just going to go ahead and gently pull this thing out. Set this off to the side. And like I mentioned before, we're going to pull down our wires, neutral, our hot, and our ground. So here's our aluminum box. I'm going to open this thing up, pull out our wires with our push-in connectors, and we're going to start with pushing the wires through here, and then using the push-in connectors. Okay, so we have these 3 wires. So now I'm just going to do one at a time. I'm going to do the white wire. Sometimes it helps if you use a pair of wire cutters and you sort of push the wire into the connector, and you can see on the connector, it might be hard to see from there, that the wire actually goes through the jaws on the connector, and it's in place and it's firmly held there. You want to make sure you do that. If you don't have enough wire exposed, go ahead and strip a little bit more back so that you're able to push it in far enough. Last one, we're going to do the ground. There we go. So now we have all 3 wires with the push-in connectors. Now I'm going to tuck these nicely into the box. I'm going to go ahead and close everything, just like that. The only thing left sticking out is going to be our white wire right here that I'm holding that's going to connect to our light. So here's my advice for this, okay? If you want to mount the box, now's your time to do it. And if not, there's no problem there. What you can do is, there's different light options available. So I'm going to sort of let this light dangle here. After you plug this in, make sure all the prongs are lined up the correct way. You go ahead and plug it in. You can go turn the power on to the circuit, and there are different lights available. I should put it this way, different options of lights available that come with this kit. I think there's like 5. They're on the back of the box, and there's a switch on the side of the box that you probably saw that allows you to change that. So it's definitely ideal to try those before you hook the light up and actually pop it in the ceiling. So be sure, now I'd say it's a good time to check those out. Alright, let's go ahead and pop her up. We have our color choice picked, and we're going to go ahead and insert her up into the ceiling. Alright. Don't pay somebody to do this. It's so easy, guys. Just watch. By the time you see this from beginning to end, you're going to really agree with me. It's super easy to do. It's a nice, simple upgrade in your house. If you have an old light fixture that you don't like and you want to put something new in, these Canless recessed lights are really big. LEDs are big, and it's just a nice, fast upgrade. So whatever you do, don't pay somebody to do this, especially once you see how easy it is.